Day 74 in the Big Brother house. Luke's fucked up the sound system again. So the awkward thing is now is that we can't even say bye. That's the awkward thing. I'm loving that you can all hear me. I'm loving this. Come on, Luke, what have you done?
Hello.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, we're back, yeah.
I can't hear Phil though.
I can't.
No, we can't hear Phil.
Anyway, should we wrap it
Do
up?
you want to wrap it up?
But no, you gotta listen to Phil first, because he's the guest. I mean, he's the guy we've got on here.
No, it's not working. No.
Don't know what's
I
going on.
don't know, but I have to read his lips.
Get the Ouija board out.
No.
You've just muted him, Luke. Well, this isn't awkward, is it?
Oh, ring him back. Ring him back.
How did you ring it?
You just kicked him out the fucking room. No. I can't hear you.
What's that mean?
Here he is.
Hello?
No.
How has this happened?
Paranormal, isn't it?
Every time we do these podcasts, something paranormal happens in this house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Blame the spirits.
Phil, how do you feel about poltergeist? We'll have to wrap it up, won't we?
I have to wrap it up anyway, yeah.
We'll have to wrap it up. We'll have to type.
Do you know what it was?
Oh, yeah.
Here.
Fucking mute button on my controller. Sorry about that.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Breaking the Silence with us, Breaking Paranormal UK. I'm Luke,
I'm Kim.
and today's episode will see us talking to Phil Whyman. He's been on a number of TV shows, Scream Team, back in the days, as well as Most Haunted.
Yeah.
And he has just, he's got another show with his wife Sarah. Are You Haunted?
Yeah. Which you can catch on Amazon Prime.
So we're going to get him on Skype with Glenn. Obviously we're still COVID restrictions, everything's through the computer.
Yeah.
And ask some questions, we'll pick his brains, just should we say?
Yeah. Not his nose, his
Not
brains.
his nose, his brains. And yeah,
See what happens.
see what happens. Oh, another thing.
Ooh.
You can see they've got some aliens on our.
Where?
There, look. Sat there with a.
Has one of them got boobies?
I don't really looked. No. But yeah, we got gifted these aliens from Kelly and Gareth,
Yeah.
which I absolutely love them, and thank you very very much for sending
Yeah.
us them.
And they will have Prime placed
Yes.
on the Breaking the Silence sofa.
If you want to send us any gifts,
Yeah.
get in touch.
Just send
And
them.
we'll put it on the table for you.
Yeah. So I just want to say thanks
Yeah,
to
thanks
Kelly and
Kelly.
Gareth for sending them these,
Yeah.
because you're all alien obsessed.
I am, yeah.
So yeah,
Gotta
and
be,
they do look really cool. We put them on the bookshelf as well.
Yeah,
They
that's
fit
right.
in really well, don't they?
Keep them on the bookshelf, and when we do a podcast, we get them out, don't we? So,
Yeah.
so,
Yeah. So
yeah. So now we're gonna get Phil and Glenn on Skype.
Right. Oh, I was already on, was I?
yeah.
Right, okay. Didn't see
You're
myself. Yeah, not bad. Are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
can
fine,
hear you.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I was thinking, did we need headphones or not? But
Oh no.
I couldn't find it in the end, so I thought
You're all right.
You've got Glenn, who's joining us as well.
Yeah, but
Hello. Oh, you're right.
Podcast with us, so
yeah, he would have been here, but because of lockdown and
Yeah.
that, we can't get rid of him, Phil. To be honest, he's hard to understand as well. Phil, he ain't from round here. He's
Where's he from?
Then why don't you
Newcastle.
talk and let him guess?
Where are you from?
Yeah, Newcastle.
Newcastle. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll try and talk English for you.
English. Proper English. I struggle doing that anyway, so don't worry about it.
yeah, I do. So anyway, I'm going to ask you a few questions about obviously your time in the paranormal, your time at Most Haunted, Are You Haunted, and you was on Scream Team, weren't you, as well?
Yeah.
We'll ask you some questions about them topics.
Okay.
Hopefully last about an hour, and then we'll leave you to your Friday night.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll go and get my takeaway.
Yeah.
What's on the menu?
Yeah, I think Indians just turn up, so I think I'm having I think it's a pasanda. I think I've got.
Oh, nice.
What's one of them?
It's a curry of some sort.
Oh, I normally just go for a vindaloo, me. So.
Oh, stuff that.
Yeah.
I'll be on the toilet all night.
So, when did your interest start in the paranormal? Like, how old was it, and what got you into the paranormal?
I was about 11, I think, and I was just getting books out of the library from stuff about myths and legends and things like that, and it kind of progressed from there really. And then most of the time I used to go at that age with my dad, and I asked him to get me some books out of the grown-up section, and which kind of was the more interesting paranormal books, stuff like Harry Price and things like that. And it just progressed on from there really. So from about 11 years old, reading books and stuff, and then when I was about 16, I kind of started doing my first investigations, which was just at friends' houses or their relatives' houses, that kind of thing, because they were experiencing the usual kind of knocks and bangs, etc., etc. And the first one I did was it did turn out to be radiator pipes, so that was a bit disappointing, really. But they were quite relieved that there was nothing there. So, and then from 2002, I auditioned for a series called Scream Team.
Yeah.
Because I was a Most Haunted fan. I used to watch Series 1. And towards the end of Series 1, they were advertising during the breaks for 3 guys, 3 girls to take part and audition for a Scream Team, the series. And I did that, went down to London, auditioned over 3 separate audition days and got chosen. And off we went around the UK to investigate stories of the occultism and ghosts and hauntings and things like that. And then in October, because it was Most Haunted's first ever live show and Halloween, they wanted me to appear on the stage with them to kind of cross-promote Scream Team on the show, which I did, which was at Dudley Castle. And after the show had finished, because it was their first live event, they did a kind of an after-show party kind of thing. And I was invited back to that, where I met Derek and all the other crew. And I basically got asked if I wanted to be the paranormal investigator for Series 2 onwards. So that's what happened. And there we have it. That's my, in a nutshell, that's how I got into the TV side of things.
Yeah. So I'm in the middle of watching Scream Team because it's on Amazon Prime.
Right.
And what I like about it is because it's more like, to me, it's more like a social sort of experiment. Because you guys, you didn't know each other, did you? You was all just sort of thrown together.
Yeah.
I really like that sort of side of it because it wasn't just about sort of the paranormal. It was sort of like the psychological side, which you don't really get a lot of in today's shows. It's more sort of today's shows, I think, on TV, it's literally everything is paranormal, where you guys would literally sit there and go, actually, it could be this, it could be that, which I really liked. I just wanted to know, like, do you agree with that? Like, do you think, like, today's shows has sort of lost that sort of skeptical side?
Yeah, I think a lot of them have. I mean, it's funny you should say that, with you saying it's like a psychological thing, and it was a kind of when we did the auditions, we actually were not subjected. That probably sounds a bit harsh, but we actually do some psychological tests, as in, put your hand in this bucket. You can't see what's in it, but put your hand in it and tell me what you feel in it. There's supposed to be a spider in there, tarantula. And we were like really kind of dodgy about putting our hands in because we couldn't see what was in there. It turned out to be a piece of sellotape. But psychologically, we were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And we had to also pull out some tarot cards from underneath this giant snake in a snake tank.
Yeah. Wow.
So, because they were like testing how we'd manage the psychological side of it. And during the auditions, when we were just milling around in breaks, they were actually watching to see who was getting on with who. And how they were, getting on with each other. But yeah, you're right about the shows out there nowadays. I think there's an awful lot that's been lost in paranormal shows. The mainstream TV shows, especially, because they're just out there to showboat and try and get the viewing figures and all that kind of thing. And they've lost a lot. And I think the interpretation of a paranormal investigation has been totally twisted as far as the mainstream TV shows go, and that's a bit of, that spoils it. But it's the old adage, it's the old kind of saying that TV channels won't take the risk of doing a paranormal investigation, a proper paranormal investigation, if you like, because they know, well, they think they know. I'm going to do the air quotes. They think they know that it won't get the viewers in. But I think certainly over the last couple of few years or so, attitudes are changing towards the mainstream TV programs. And I think they're getting fed up with the fact that people are running around, people are screaming their heads off and, pooping their pants at the slightest thing, and running around with these gadgets that aren't really kind of anything really to do with detecting paranormal and spirits, etc. So, yeah. Yeah, it was a bit of a long-winded explanation, wasn't it?
Good one.
It's like when Kim was saying about that then, and you see about the viewers and stuff. I feel like if you see the things like reality TV side of things, people watching Big Brother and people love watching like Ant and Dec's Get Me Out of Here, and like the paranormal world, like you see with Scream Team, it had like a sort of similar effect. People were like watching for the sheer value of how they're actually going to react, and it's like a real life.
Yeah.
Instead of like the normal, they're going to go on or to knock, it's a bang, like the mainstream one is now. Like watching that was like a value because he's been doing this all night. He's going to crap himself. Him and he's been absolutely brave. She's class her. And I think the value of it was because it felt like a reality version of it.
The strangest thing was when we first started doing Scream Team, we did Woodchester Mansion at one point, and I'll never forget this. I don't know if you've ever been to Woodchester Mansion. There's no lights in it at all, and it was obviously 2002, so it's a long time ago. It was luckily in the middle of summer, but I absolutely hate the dark. And the first thing that we did when we got into Woodchester Mansion at night was play this surreal game of hide and seek. And I was just upstairs in one of the rooms on my own. In fact, I went into one of the rooms you're not supposed to go into, to be honest, trying to hide out the way. And it was about right high up it was. And I can remember just wishing that somebody would come and find me because I just did not like it in there at all. And it was just me on my own. And I could hear them all downstairs shouting me, "Where are you?" And they're like miles away. And I'm like, oh my God, it's going to take ages. Anyway, just a bit of an insight into what we got onto on the show. But that was scary.
Speak to any of them, Phil?
Every so often, but not very often. Every so often, like Becky Kitter and myself will message and ask how each other's doing, or she sees a post of mine, she'll probably put something on there. I don't really hear an awful lot from the others, to be honest.
Did they not decide to carry on with the paranormal then? Did they?
No, I don't think they did. No. From what I gather, they're just gone into kind of normal kind of employment and things like that. So normal jobs, not the strange jobs that we get up to.
Because that was all sort of early 2000s, and it seemed like in the early 2000s there was quite a few shows that sort of came out about the paranormal. Why do you think it sort of took off from there?
There was a number of shows that I used to watch. I used to watch a New Zealand show called Ghost Hunt. I don't know if you've seen that. There was only one series though. But the big thing is that Most Haunted brought the paranormal out to the viewing public. because there was no other show out there at the time.
Yeah.
And an awful lot of the shows nowadays, in fact, probably most of the shows, are owe their success to Most Haunted. Because they probably wouldn't have thought about doing anything like that for a while. And it took a long time to get Most Haunted on air. And people didn't want to touch it to start with. But eventually, say again.
Was there a reason why people didn't want to touch it?
Because it was just not mainstream.
Oh, right.
It was one of those genres that people were weary of.
Yeah.
Even though the concept, now we look at the concept and you think that was great concept, but it was just one of those things that people weren't interested in TV in. They thought it's not going to really bring viewing figures in. And then Living TV took a risk on it and took a chance on it and started airing it. And it actually saved the channel, Living TV channel, because at that point you had to garner so many viewing figures, viewing numbers in, and they just weren't doing it apparently. And when Most Haunted came along, it became their flagship show, and the channel took off from there.
Yeah.
I think it got a lot of people into actually investigating as well, didn't it?
It did mean.
Yeah. I mean, I put something on Facebook the other day, and the amount of people that said, "Oh, if it weren't for Most Haunted, we would never have met, and I would have never met these great people and friends, and I certainly wouldn't have met my wife if I wasn't on Most Haunted." So, there are things to be thankful for.
So when it was watching Scream Team, mate, it says you're a believer.
Yeah.
Would you still consider yourself a believer, or are you skeptical now?
I don't know where they got that from. They also got my age wrong. I think they said I was older than I was at the time. So typical television. And but I've always been kind of on the skeptical side of things. I've seen bits and pieces, but it's never been quite enough for me to convincingly say, yeah, I totally believe in things that are there. I mean, there are things there, but whether they're what we perceive as spirits, as in the essence of a deceased person, for instance, is anyone's guess. But I'm just trying to make my mind up about all that.
Yeah, same.
Talking about Most Haunted.
Yep.
So, the first sort of episode in where you're not on the lives, the actual series, was season 2 for you, wasn't it? And it was at the Brannigan's nightclub in Manchester. Yeah. Which I actually watched the other night. And you have a standoff with Derek, don't you? Yeah. What was that like?
It was I was obviously the new kid on the block, and I was kind of in awe of Derek from watching the series.
Yeah.
And I'd never kind of seen him act like this before. So I can remember, if I remember rightly, he was kind of influenced by Godfrey Parks, one of the characters that's supposed to haunt the place. And he stood in front of me, and he was getting really agitated. And Derek's a big guy. I don't know if you ever met him.
No.
But Derek's a big guy, and he's quite well built. And I'm not a small guy. I'm 6'4", and but he just, the way he was looking, and he just comes staring straight at me, and I thought, what's going to go? He's going to smack me here in a minute. He's going to smack me, and I just couldn't. It was going off on one, and I just couldn't stop from smirking a little bit, because I thought it was a nervous smirk. Don't get me wrong, because I thought he is going to lamp me here, and I'm going to go down and carries on like this. But that was what was going through my mind at first, and then he started walking off somewhere else, and I thought, well, okay, I've got away on that one then. But Derek was great.
A really good investigation, though. There seemed to be quite a bit that happened.
Yeah, there was, if I remember, there was like a loft hatch up in the attic, and that's where all this was kicking off with Derek.
Yeah.
But it was a huge place, so real. You got nightclub downstairs, and then you come upstairs, and you've got this entire kind of Methodist church area with the seating and everything. It was like, what? Where's this come from? But it confused me, because you probably don't know, we didn't actually the shows weren't actually shown in the order that we were filmed. The first episode of series 2 that we filmed was the Derby 3 location one with Richard Felix. It was I think it was Lafferty's, the George pub, and is it the Bell or something? I can't remember. But that was the first one that I ever filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Because as a viewer, obviously we see you at the Brannigan's Hotel because when you think, oh yeah, they must have gone there first. You think of that way. You don't think actually. Because is it true as well that when you film Most Haunted, it actually takes like a week or two? That's what I've heard to actually film one episode. Is that right?
No, that's. I mean, we would turn up the night. Usually, we turn up the night before. We turn up the night before about 6 o'clock in the evening, have something to eat, go to bed really early, and get up, early. We'd be on location site for about 10 o'clock in the morning, and then we'd film all the way through to the following morning, including the vigils, walk around, etc., etc. Derek's part, Yvette's part, my piece, Richard's piece, and then we'd film all the way through till about 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes later than that. And then we'd head off back to the hotel, which usually ended up kicking you out at stupid o'clock at 10 in the morning. So we're all knackered still. And so that was great. And then they took the film and edited it, etc., etc. So where you say filming for a week, that never happened.
That never. Yeah.
No, we were there for 24 hours, filming 24 hours approximately, and then they took the episode and edited it down. I don't know if it took a week to edit it. It probably did because there was a lot of footage. But filming wise, we were there on site for about 24 hours.
Just like a proper investigation, you've got 24 hours. If something happens, it happens. If it didn't, it didn't. Which was, for me, in the early days, that's what Most Haunted was about, because there was a few episodes when you could see nothing really happened, and that was it. You know. Exactly. See you later. See you on the next one.
And I think that's why it was so popular.
Yeah. Yeah. So. I think as well, because you had the obviously you had your medium Derek.
Yep.
Then you had obviously Yvette, who was like sort of new to it kind of thing, but she said she was unsure whether or not she believed it or not, but she would get frightened, and which is quite funny to watch at times.
Yeah. Unless she's gripping your arm.
And then you've got Richard Felix, who had, the history side, and then like you, the investigator, you knew what to do with the baselines of what was, So I think it was interesting to have all sort of different parts, and then you'd have, is it Matthew Smith?
It was Matthew Smith to start with,
Yeah.
And he came on some of the investigations with us as well.
Yeah. What was he like?
He's really great.
Yeah.
We got on really well with Matthew. Yeah. And Kieran. I mean, Kieran I speak to on a regular basis.
Yeah.
So both really, really nice, down to earth guys, and got a nice, great sense of humour. So that always helps. But so and I don't know. I forgot what I was going to say. Anyway, never mind. You cut that bit out. If I think what it was, I'll come back to you. Oh yeah, no, sorry.
What was one of your fondest moments on the show? Or probably your most, your best experience of the show, your most fondest?
I always remember Craiganoss Castle, and because we had some weird experiences there, not necessarily during the investigation, but during we stayed in the actual castle the night before we started filming. And Richard Felix had this weird kind of encounter. He said he kind of woke up in the middle of the night and there was a door in his wall, which wasn't there before. And when he kind of got up to look at it and go check it out, and as he turned back round to go back into bed, he said he saw the figure of like under the bedclothes, something in the bed, which is a bit weird. I don't know if he was kind of semi-conscious, as in sleep-wise or not, but that was a really weird experience. But Craiganoss, for me, the reason I remember it more so is the fact that the atmosphere was totally very, very oppressive. Upstairs in the upper floors, when we did it, it was still derelict on the upper floors. But we were walking around, and it's one of those locations where normally we would split up. So I'd go like with Rick Fielding, and we'd go and investigate somewhere else, and Richard Felix will go with somebody like Tom O'Carroll, who was the sound engineer, when we're doing the vigils. But we just did not want to leave. We just wanted to stay around in one bunch because we just didn't feel comfortable. And that I remember that ever since. So a bit of a strange one. Very, very atmospheric.
Yeah. Let's have a look at that one.
Yeah.
Craigienos Castle in Wales. Yeah, I've done it a few times.
Yeah. Let's have a look at that one.
Phil, I've got a question about Derek.
Yeah.
So obviously when I was watching him, obviously with Most Haunted and all sort of stuff, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. But obviously on camera and that, it was just amazing, the talent that he had, but also the energy that he brought with the team. Like everyone was laughing, like everyone was bouncing off him and that.
Yeah.
And I was just like a question with him being off camera, because he looked like he had so much knowledge and stuff like that, and he looked like the same caring person. Was he the same caring person? Was it the same energy off camera? Was he always the same bouncy around person, or always going to people and stuff like that?
Yeah, Derek was full of energy.
Yeah.
Even off camera, and he was a very generous person, and especially generous person to me, because we used to spend quite a lot of time with each other talking and stuff like that. And he was just so much fun to be around. It really was, and he's a big loss to the paranormal world when he passed away, sadly. But he was, make no mistake, he was the person that carried the show, if you like, because he was such a showman to do when he was doing the series.
That's where I saw him on TV. He was like the showmanship material of it all, but it was brilliant how he did it. Like he carried some things absolutely amazing. I was sitting there like laughing at some things, like how's he managed to get that?
Yeah.
Or how's he did? You see all your reactions, like what's happened here? How's he pulled that out of the bag? It's really, really funny. Some stuff to watch. It was great.
It was great. It was a great character to be around, and he was exactly what the show needed.
Yeah.
Because he was so energetic, and that came across on the camera. And people just tuned in to watch what he was getting up to. It was great fun.
Yeah.
It's great, but he was exactly like that on the off camera as well. Yeah.
Speaking of Derek, so when the infamous Mary Loves Dick came out,
Iconic.
The iconic moment. What was your thoughts on that?
Well, I remember obviously vividly when it happened, because he came out with it, and Yvette was just what's known as corpsing. She basically she put her hand to her mouth because she was trying to stop herself from laughing because of it. And I just thought, well, this is good. I'm stuck here, and the main presenter's kind of going to go off on one, and so I tried to remain calm and just asked a question. I think I said, "Who's Mary?" or something like that. Derek, who's Mary? Or something like that. And it was weird, the amount of kind of people asking me, "Did you not get what Derek came out with?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, but I was trying to be professional in that moment and trying to keep the show going." So, but yeah, it was kind of took us all by surprise, and it was like, "What?" But yeah.
I wouldn't have kept a straight face. I wouldn't have done.
I found it really, really difficult, but I thought, no, cameras are rolling, so I've got to try and do something. And they were like, "You must not got a sense of humour," and I'm like, well, no, not at all. But there you go.
Someone made a song out of it, didn't they? A dance song. It's on YouTube.
Did they?
Yeah. You
Right.
can hear you on it as well.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Where's my royalties? No.
Yeah. I'll have to send you the link so you can hear it.
Yeah, do it.
I'll just put it in the podcast.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Right.
What were the lives like? Were they nerve-wracking?
Yeah.
There were. I mean, I'd probably filmed about 3 episodes of series 2 when the first the first live show came up for me, which was Dover Castle.
Yeah.
So I'd gone from being basically a laptop engineer to doing 3 shows of a series that I was like in awe of.
Yeah.
So I was actually there with the people. I was like, "Wow, this is really not happening." To being thrown into a live event at Dover Castle, and Dover Castle, you think, "Wow, what a fantastic venue! This is massive." And then the people were there as well, because they had a bit of an audio studio audience there, and I was so kind of nervous for about the first 45 minutes. Because I just was not used to it, but eventually you settle down a bit when you realise things aren't, people aren't going to jump out at you, and you're not going to get mugged or anything like that by spooky things, and so it was nerve-wracking, but thoroughly enjoyable when you got into it. It was really good. Everything was chaotic though. You got all the guys running around with cameras and the street, pulling the cables around and making sure that we run to time and all that kind of thing. So it was brilliant experience.
Yeah, I used to love them. I used to sit there, my mum and my dad and my brother and that. We used to sit there. We used to order pizza, And then we'd like, you used to do things like, what's it called again? Where you draw in, what's it called? Spirit. What's it called? And they say, if you get in bed, write it down or draw a picture.
Yeah.
For people to send the pictures
That's
in.
it, yeah.
That was my favourite part, Phil, because some things people used to send in, like little stick figures and stuff.
I didn't get to see any of that.
And then people used to say, my cat's acting weird. It's like meowing at the fridge. I think it must be paranormal. Like,
Yes, possessed fridge.
I used to love stuff like that.
I see most haunting that you're doing the lives.
Yeah.
What was any bit where you're thinking, I'll mess something up here? Or you're like, what's the chance of this messing up? Was there something like a certain part of the investigation where, like, this has got to be done perfect? Otherwise, people's going to pick up on it straight away.
I don't think I had the opportunity to mess up, to be honest, because I kept everything quite basic.
Yeah, you kind of have to in those situations, don't you?
Yeah. I remember one mistake I did on Dover Castle because of time constraints. We'd already, about 30 minutes before we came live on air, we'd already filmed a little bit.
Yeah.
In one of the dungeon tunnels or corridors or something like that. So
Yeah.
it's me with an EMF meter. So that started playing out, and I'm like, that was playing out live. And I'm like, where am I supposed to be to the guys that were supposed to be directing me and telling me where I am? And I'm, just go up there and sit with Richard Felix and that lot. So I'm there, sat with Richard Felix, and the camera comes to us, and we're sat there, etc. And then it cuts back to the scene where I'm actually in the corridor, and people think that it's going out live, and they're thinking, how the hell is he there and he's here at the same time? I'm like, oh well, that wasn't my fault though. I blame somebody else for that. So it just looked a bit weird to start with.
That's a bit, isn't it? I got that time for that.
A bit crazy.
The audio still isn't working.
What are you doing?
I don't know. He's pressed the wrong button.
Oh, we can hear you. Speak. No, we can't.
Hello.
Hey, are you back now?
Oh, back.
Yeah.
It said it was working, but so we didn't know what was going on.
We didn't know what was going on.
Weird.
So we thought,
No.
Oh,
I
there you
was going to do sign language. I thought it might have been that.
go. We kept the show going, so don't panic.
Yeah, well done,
Got it sorted.
They said I was on about cats one eye, meowing and stuff, and people were saying the pets were affected, and we used to sit there looking at webcams, and everyone used to love it.
Yeah.
I used to want to, like, when you used to pick someone out of the audience to, like, join us for a bit.
Yeah.
I'd love that.
The one that I remember the most is that big tester ball they had.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I love that bit.
When was that? Where was that?
I can't remember what episode it was, but I'm sure it was them. They had a massive Tesla.
Oh, where Kieran was touching it. The Kieran had to touch it or something. Or
no, it was that literally massive. It was like.
Was that the one where they was in the cages?
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No.
Was it?
Yeah, there was one where they had this electric sphere thing, and they were all in cages, and it was shooting at the cage.
Yeah, that sounds like.
I think that was it. I wasn't on it.
Oh, so. Come on.
That's how it was, but I'm just saying that's when I can remember that.
That audio back off. Come on, let's get the audio off.
Let's just chat a bit more.
Yeah.
But didn't they at one point as well? They buried themselves alive as well. Like,
yeah, that was abroad though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Didn't they go to?
Was it Romania?
Or Romania?
Yeah.
Somewhere like that. So it just got bigger and bigger, didn't it? And
yeah.
Then it started going downhill, didn't it? After a bit.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah. No comment to that.
Yeah. I'll take the Fifth Amendment on that one.
Yeah. I mean, really TV, really, like.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
So should we move on?
Yeah.
So coming now to Are You Haunted? How did that show come about, and whose idea was the concept of the show? Like you don't use the equipment and that, do you, on that? It's like back to basics kind of show.
That was Sarah's idea, which is why I put the comment the other day about you'll get a slap. It is annoying. It is annoying though, because people associate me with the TV side of things. They think it's me that's put the show together, and it's not. It's Sarah's came up with the show idea, and we just we used to run public events, ghost hunting events, and we used to get quite a lot of people come and say, when are you going to do your own show, blah blah blah. And we're like, well, we'll think about it. And then we left it, and then we sat down eventually and said, you know what, let's give it a go. And Sarah came back with this concept. And the one thing that sticks out to us is people always want to use the equipment, and the equipment isn't actually, it's not scientifically designed to detect anything to do with spirits and ghosts, because we don't have any of the parameters needed to detect them to put into the pieces of equipment. So it's all a bit, pseudoscience. And when we used to do the events, we used to have the equipment because we wouldn't stop anybody using it. And we used to do 4 vigils. People used to come up on the first vigil and the second vigil, and by the third vigil, did not use the equipment. They'd just go out and do their own thing. And you used to get a lot more interaction from whatever might be haunting the venue when they were doing that. So we thought, let's come up with this idea, and we come up with the idea of being back to basics, because at the end of the day, people who are experiencing paranormal activity and whatever, and seeing ghosts and spirits, etc., aren't walking around with pieces of equipment. They're just doing things like they do in normal life, like watching the telly or walking around the castle having a look at it, or hanging the washing out or something like that. And we thought, well, let's do this without this equipment, because we're not a fan of the equipment anyway. And so we did, and we thought, who can we get to do it with us? And the people that are involved are people we've known for years and years. And therefore, we know that we can trust them. They can trust us. And they've got just the right kind of personalities to be involved in something like this. Because Sarah was told, you can't make a program that's going to be entertaining unless you're faking stuff for a paranormal show. And it's like, well, no, you're wrong. Because if you've got the right mix of characters, that can carry the show where it's quiet, where there's bits of, of the show that's quiet. And it
brings content in itself.
Yeah, exactly. And then we wanted people to kind of make an association and a connection with us as normal people, as well as liking the show. And we're quite fortunate in the fact that that's actually what's happened. So we're really pleased about that.
Yeah.
But that's basically how it all came about. We just wanted to do a show where we didn't want to use any equipment. You were going to say something, Mr. Red.
Yeah, sorry. With obviously the creation of the show, did you find any complications in regards to bringing out, like, say, a paranormal show with the well-watched genre as it is?
No, I mean, this is going to sound strange, but we're not after a TV deal or anything like that. We're not doing the show to impress the people in the upper echelons that are going to say, oh yeah, come and sign this contract and we'll stick you on TV. We're doing it because we enjoy doing it, because we're a bunch of mates that we don't really see an awful lot of, because we're separate, miles away from each other. And it's doing something that we investigate, something that we love, like the paranormal. And we really do mean that when we say our main kind of reasons for doing it is to put a show out for people who want to watch it, because we enjoy doing it. And if we can put out a quality show like that, then that's good enough for us. And that's always been our kind of mantra. And people sometimes automatically think that because you're doing a show, you're like, oh yeah, you're going to try and get it on telly, you're going to do this, and you're going to try and and you're going to sell it, and it's like, not at all. We've never had any intentions of trying to get it on TV.
Yeah.
So
you want to be viewed. You don't mind that. You want people to see, like, I've had this experience, I've had this, like, all the EVP and that, for example, and stuff. And you just want people to view it and see it. That's why we put it all on YouTube. We put all stuff on Facebook. It's this situation like that. And but you always get some people. I thought, like, with you putting yourself on, like, a bigger platform, you would have had someone trying to, like, a wall in the way or stuff that complications. Or there's already people doing this now. This is genre, or it's going too high now, or.
No, because we're quite lucky in the fact, because we do, like you guys do, we put stuff on YouTube and whatever, and then we put it on Amazon Prime. We didn't really know anything about Amazon Prime to start with. We thought, well, let's put it on here and see if anybody's watches it, see if we get any decent reviews, etc., and see how we get on with that. And so we did. But as I say, it's never been our intention to bang it around channels to say you tap this on and whatever. So we do it because we enjoy it, and we enjoy people enjoying the show.
Yeah.
I think your viewers can actually connect with you more on social media and YouTube and, like say, Amazon Prime as well. It's like, say, if you was on TV and stuff, it's, I don't know how to word it, but
do you think it feels like it's a different sort of world
on
TV?
You get like a different kind of viewing, don't you?
You do, yeah, you do. And one thing that you do notice, and even I notice it, is that people behave differently when they're on TV.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I mean? And it's kind of a totally different, like you just said, it's a different world sometimes.
I'll be honest.
You what?
I'll be
Need subtitles.
Yes.
I should have muted that. Sorry, I should have.
Your audio's up and down more times than Newcastle.
Ow! I should have seen that one coming.
Where are they in the league anyway? I don't pay attention to the football.
They were more or less in the relegation zone.
Oh, you crikey.
More or less,
See you next year then.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Big Brother impression.
What?
Do your Big Brother impression that you do.
There we go.
Go on.
Dear 34 in the Big Brother house. Phil, Kim, and Luke are in the diary room.
Hey, if he ever pops his clogs, there you go.
Yeah,
Got a job.
I'll try and take it.
Job for life.
On the rate, you sure? There you go.
Cool.
I've got another question for it's like for the whole time. Obviously, with yourself being a paranormal investigator and that. Has there ever been a location where the owner or there's been very complications of getting to investigate in that area? It's that location, for example, like anyone try to stop you, like you try and get this really big location, but something's always stopping you. It's like the owner's like, oh, you can't do this. There's so many set rules. There's so many complications involved with it, and you're restricted.
Yeah, we've wanted to do quite a few National Trust buildings.
Yeah.
The places are always crying out for donations because they need, charity and money and stuff like that. But when you turn up with a few £100 and say, "Can you investigate you? There's only 6 of us. Can we investigate you?" No, don't want to know. And that gets on my nerves, to be honest, because it's supposed to be a venue for the public to enjoy, and it's like most of these places, a lot of the ones we kind of inquired about are quite, in a rundown, ruinous condition, but they still won't let you in. But we have been really lucky because most of the locations that we've done, in fact, all the locations that we've done, have been really generous with us.
Yeah.
So, and even more exciting is for Series 3, we've got some absolutely stonking venues that we're in conversations with. So, but I'm not going to say anything else about that.
No, I'll be giving that a watch though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one.
One of them at the minute. One of them's not been done by anyone.
Wow.
So.
Like an honor, isn't it? Are you gonna put
exactly?
Yeah.
Isn't it?
It's great. So fingers crossed that all comes off. So.
Yeah, that's good.
We're really excited about that.
I like the ones where not many people have done.
Yeah.
Because then you walk in there, you introduce yourself and that to everyone, and then like you say, you can get the most amazing activity.
Yeah, we love most of our venues on the seasons 1 and 2 haven't been investigated an awful lot, and some of them haven't been investigated at all. So we were the first ones to do it. At the time of filming, we were the first ones to do it, and some of the episodes we film and then aren't actually put out to watch for 8, 9, 10 months. So
with guys who have never been investigated prior, do you have enough research to know what you're looking for, essentially? Is it a residual haunting? Is it a poltergeist?
Yeah, we always, whoever's venue it is, because obviously we all have 3 of us bring a venue to the table and the rest of us decide if we're going to do it or not. Whoever brings it always contacts the venue first before they bring it with you, because that little information thing that we bring to the table, the little folder and whatever, that's got all the information in it. So we sit there and just look at it and read what it's all about, and it'll tell you who we've contacted, or who the person that's venue it is has contacted, what they've been told, etc., etc. So it contains quite a bit of information. So we're always aware of what's supposedly haunting the place.
Yeah.
I think you've got to, really.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, some of the you don't want to go to a venue which is a bit weird, if you know what I mean. So it's always best to kind of get as much information as you can.
So sometimes I like to go in blind, don't we? But
yeah,
like, when you put events on, you've got to get at least a little bit.
You've got to get research.
Yeah.
Research, haven't you?
Yeah. So if guests ask you and you haven't got a clue, that you look a bit daft, don't you?
It's just with the question. There's a question that is like, when it's obviously no one's investigated it before. But it's like with us, we've got all the research off people doing the past investigations in certain locations. I was wondering if it was different being a first-time investigator in the places that have been investigated before.
No, we try not to. We tend to try not to look on the internet or Google, etc., for what people have said that's supposed to be haunting the venue, who have probably been in there before and whatever. So we always try and get first-hand accounts off the people that run the venue or have the staff at the venue, etc. So.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So like you guys, as well with the show, it's you pick from 3 different locations, isn't it? And you all decide which one sort of stands out that you want to do the most. What happens to the other locations that you don't pick? Like, how does that?
Some of them get thrown back into the mix at some point. In fact, we've had a couple of venues that have been thrown back into the mix and then they've been chosen. But it's just at the time when they were thrown in to start with or brought to the table for the first time, there were better sounding venues or more interesting sounding venues that kind of piqued our interest. But most of the ones that get thrown to one side, we kind of can bring them back and do them again if we want to. It's things like Dale and his Dale and his haunted woods and the haunted roads that he seems to want to kind of bring to the table for a middle of winter filming session. It's like, hello, we sit in the car and investigate a road or something, or put a tent out in the middle of the woods in winter. It's like, and I think that's what puts us off from picking them, to be honest.
It'll be good content though. Watch us all kick off and shiver in your sleeping bag.
Exactly. Yeah. Hey, we might do it at one point. We might do it. We might give him his wish and do a haunted wood or haunted road or something like that. Yeah. See how he likes it. He might start bringing them in future.
Put them off.
Yeah.
What's your favourite kind of location then, Phil? If you could pick any.
Of like pubs, woods.
Yeah, I love historic buildings. I love like castles, and big manor houses and things like that. And I mean, we did Otterburn Castle for series 2, I think it was. Was it series 1? Series 1, we did Otterburn Castle. That was an absolutely amazing venue, really, really cool. And we've done a couple more. I mean, and Tutbury Castle. I mean, who doesn't like not like Tutbury Castle? It's absolutely amazing. We did that as a special 2-day investigation special, and we had a member of the public join us on that one. We did a competition, and Anita Landon won the place on there, so she came with us. It was fantastic. Yeah, but I love the history side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, I like that side.
Can't be a castle.
No.
Yeah, I mean, because even if nothing happens,
you're in a castle.
You're in a castle, yeah, and you're like, wow, this is like great.
At 2 a.m.
Yeah, you're looking at the walls. It's got like ancient tapestries or a big sword hanging off, or a pike or something like that. It's like an armor. You're like, wow, that's cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. And then quick speak.
Yeah. I'm trying. Is there a location that you've always wanted to do, yet you've never been able to do it via, like, I don't know, something's come up with work, or you just haven't had access to the area itself?
Yeah, Tower of London and Hampton Court Palace.
Yeah.
Which apparently Kieran O'Keefe's done, Hampton Court Palace, so I'm so jealous. He did that a while back. So, but yeah, I've always wanted to do Tower of London since I was young.
Yeah.
But
Is it on the to-do list in the future for you, or
is it what? Say again.
On the to-do list in the future?
No chance. They won't let you in.
Oh,
Something to do with the crown jewels being in there.
Didn't they used to let you though? I'm sure.
They did. They let a TV crew in there a long time ago, and after that they wouldn't let anybody else in. So I don't know what happened.
No.
So, yeah.
So when we tried to get it, didn't it? Like, no,
you got no chance.
but no chance.
No chance.
Did you try and get it? Did you?
Yeah.
Well, I've not even tried.
It is embarrassing because like you could literally go somewhere and he'll just straight up go up and start talking about ghosts, and then he asks the question and he tries to like get in there.
Well,
and I'm just like,
you don't ask, don't ask, do you?
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
Get some of the best places doing that.
Yeah, we've got some really cracking venues doing that kind of thing.
Do you think it's possible for a location to be overdone?
Yeah.
Do you think it is?
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's loads of venues which that I won't do anymore because they've been over investigated so much. I think well, yeah, that's
straight for the jugular there, Glenn.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I wouldn't do 30 East Drive, but it has been investigated a heck of a lot.
Yeah.
And some other places as well, and it's like it has a detrimental effect. I think if it was left for a while, things might start happening again. But I don't know. But yeah, I agree with what you say there. There's places that have investigated too much.
There's a bit of luck because, like, after lockdown, there's obviously nowhere's been investigated for the last year, have there?
No.
Really? So.
Well, technically shouldn't have been, but
yeah. The location that you've been to only once and you're desperate to go back to, but you never had the chance to.
There's a couple of locations that we're wanting to go back to that we've done on Are You Haunted, because what we picked up there was quite impressive, to be honest. So we're kind of going to approach, once all this COVID situation's sorted out and out of the way, we're going to approach them again, see if we can come back and go and film again, and try a kind of a slightly different approach to what we did the first time, because we now know from the first investigation a lot more about the venue. So we want to go back and see if we can replicate the stuff that we got the first time and then try and improve on that. So, but I'm not going to tell you where they are.
That was my next question. Read my mind.
So you was born in Nottingham.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your favourite place in Nottingham to visit, like ghost hunt or investigate?
Crumbs.
Apart from Forest, because they're crap.
How rude.
Sorry.
How rude are you? I'm a Forest fan. Probably know that anyway.
She's a Forest fan.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We're not going to say anything about this season.
No, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, I think our promotion ambitions are dead, and they probably need investigating.
Yeah.
We can find the spirit of the Forest team. But I enjoyed the National Crime Museum. I think it's called now, isn't it? But it used to be the Gallows of Justice.
Yeah.
That's a fantastic venue, and obviously I knew about that for a long time. I would like to investigate Woollerton Hall. That would have been good. I did the Salutation Inn, but I would never do that again.
No?
No. Well, there was a chair thrown through the window. And there were some dubious activity in the cellars and the caves.
Right. Okay.
With bits and pieces being thrown.
Oh.
When we went there, it was still open upstairs, so you couldn't really hear it.
No.
Yeah, well, they were still open upstairs. And then we came back for a break. We came back up from downstairs, from the caves, and that's when we realised that a chair had been thrown through the window. So something had been kicking off while we had been down there. They probably said it was poltergeist, but you know.
Yeah.
And trip to Jerusalem. Yeah, well, there you go. Yeah,
it's all going to get thrown.
Yeah, especially in that place, it's like full of rockers and whatever, isn't it? And so one of them kind of boozers. So
is that trip to Jerusalem the one with the ship? That
yes, it is.
Everyone's died.
The galleon. Yeah.
Where me and you went, Glenn, to get some.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, and you were like, touch it,
Yeah,
and I was like, I really want to touch it, but it was too high up, and I couldn't touch it.
Yeah. Well, was it in the glass tank at that point?
Yeah. It hasn't been cleaned for so many years.
Yeah, I think that's probably. It's probably why. Don't touch it. That's what I think the cleaners came up with. That. Don't touch it because they can't bother to clean it. Don't touch it. No, it's cursed. That leave it. No. Because who wants to kind of clean all the intricate bits and then not touching that, it's cursed. Yeah, but it's a great place. It's the trip to Jerusalem. Brilliant.
Yeah, it's good.
So once COVID hopefully is all done with, Phil, what's the plans? I know you probably want to be filming Are You Haunted?
Yeah.
Is that where you're heading?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
We've still got a couple of episodes to edit that we've held back for series 2.
Nice.
We've got to sort those out, and then we will be as soon as possible off filming again at some great locations that we've got lined up. I'm not going to say anything else about the locations. I keep having to remind myself not to say anything because I'll just come out and go, "Oh yeah, we're doing this," and then Sarah will divorce me. So
yeah.
So we're all looking forward to
camera.
What's that?
You just see a fist come around the camera.
Hey, it's happened before. Yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. Yeah, because everybody's kind of champing at the bit to get back out there and do some investigating and filming and stuff. So yeah.
So for all our viewers watching, can you tell our viewers what your new show is called, or your Sarah's show is called? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And where they can find it.
Yeah, it's called Are You Haunted, and it is available on YouTube and Amazon Prime. We've got a Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter, so if you want to jump on and follow us, you can get the latest information about what we're up to.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So good. It's good. We've been watching it, haven't we?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Catch it
Very good.
on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime.
You got out to say,
Glenn?
Glenn?
Any last final
No, I
question?
just want to know how his curry's going to taste, really. Unless it does it, I don't know.
It's like you've got a question.
I'm interested in the food. No, I'm happy.
You're interested in the food?
I'll let you know what it tastes like when I've had it.
No,
Yeah.
cheers, Phil. Thank you, mate. Cheers, bud.
Okay, you're welcome.
I
I'll swap it for a Parmo.
Oh, deal.
For coming on, Phil, because when you said yes, I was quite surprised. I didn't expect you to say yes.
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't think you would. So I was like, oh shit, he has actually said yes. So yeah, I just want to say thank you for that.
No, you're welcome. Thanks for having me on, guys. It's been fun.
Thank you.
No, it's been really good, yeah. I really enjoyed talking to you as well, yeah.
Nice one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice one. Thank you very much, Phil.
All right. See you
See you
later.
later, guys. Thank you very much.
Catch
Pleasure.
on Facebook or something, I should imagine.
Nice.
Yeah.
See you later. Off to get me a curry.
Enjoy
Right.
it.
Enjoy it.
Nice one. Cheers.
Bye.
All the
See you
best,
later, guys.
See you later.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Hopefully, catch us in a few weeks again.
So this next show, we said we was going to talk about cryptozoology.
Cryptozoology.
Shall we talk about cryptozoology?
If you want
on
to,
the next
yeah.
one?
Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to, share it out, comment on you, give us your reviews, please. We want to know if we're doing things right or wrong. If you want to come on and join us, please do.
Yeah, just let us know.
Yeah, just let us know.
We'll be happy to talk to you.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks for watching, guys, and we shall see you soon.
Covers him up.
Bye.
Yes. Yes. Right. She covered him up. She helped him.
How do you mean covered him up?
How did she cover him up, Sam? She protected him. With who? The only two that protected him were herself, Mary and Betty. Mary and Betty.